In February 2012, I was asked to take on responsibility for Asia Pacific in Japan. Having taken on that particular role, one of the main reasons was that the business was, for want of a better term, in a state of crisis. The revenues had been in decline, pipeline had collapsed, profitability was being undermined. We were in a difficult situation. I was of the belief that I could take on all of this myself, and if I just worked harder and worked longer hours and threw myself at it, then I think I would be just fine. I think I remember walking home one time from a meeting in North Sydney and felt like the weight of the world was on my shoulders, and there was a certain realisation that I just simply couldn't do it on my own. That process of letting go, I think it was incredibly helpful because not only did it encourage me to reach out to others within the organisation and to pull them together as a leadership team and to explain the journey I was going through and why I needed their help and to get them bought into the whole process. It also took an awful lot of stress out of my life as well. I guess one of the key aspects of that was about building a degree of trust within that leadership team. That in order to start that process of working together, of being able to adequately define a problem statement or arrive at reasonable solutions, you had to first learn to kind of trust each other enough to embark on that process. So one of the first things we learned, you don't have to trust each other completely, you just have to trust each other enough to begin that process, and that was an important starting point. That was incredibly useful in terms of breaking down barriers, start to embrace the different skills and values that each person within that team can actually contribute. So you're starting to have a conversation saying, I now really understand the core values that you can bring to our organisation. So the first thing the Leadership Circle gave us was a common language set. We are an incredibly culturally diverse organisation. We have offices in China, in Japan, in Malaysia, in Singapore, in India, Dubai, Saudi Arabia. It is an incredibly diverse team, bringing a lot of the language that we'd agree to this whole framework to bear on our decision-making process. We came to the realisation that we're a people organisation that happens to sell, not a sales organisation with people. That was an important distinction. It sounds overly simplistic, but it was a very important shift in emphasis and shift in thinking. In actual fact, once we started thinking about ourselves as a people organisation that happened to sell, we started looking at a different set of statistics. So you start looking at churn rates. Okay? So we had a 17% turnover in our sales force in the prior year. So again, a shift in emphasis helped us to understand not just the problem statement, but the root causes, and we're able to really do something about that. It sounds obvious, but it was just something we hadn't really looked at. We implemented a much better, more comprehensive onboarding process that included ongoing coaching and mentoring from managers and leaders outside of their direct reporting line. We're definitely having conversations now that we just simply hadn't had before in the organisation. There's I think I've referred to it as there's a degree of greater authenticity about those conversations now. So rather than playing around the edges of a particular topic, throwing out some statistics and worrying about the performance of a given individual or worrying about the forecast for a particular month, we're now having much more constructive, much more real conversations that carry greater integrity to them. Net result, team stability is significantly improved. We have far less churn within the sales organisation. Performance across the board has significantly improved as a result as well. So when you have people with tenure, when you've got that stability in the organisation, and you've got salespeople and pre-sales people and managers who know what they're doing and understand what they're supposed to be doing and why, you're going to get better results. So in 2013, we saw a significant improvement in both revenue and profitability. We delivered, in fact, 40% licence revenue growth in 2013. Our profitability improved threefold. That wasn't just down to the improvement in revenue, but down to a range of other factors that took place right throughout the organisation. And it starts with people.